So when I first got into working with PACE, it's this investor creative finance group that I'm like, what is subject to? And is this even legal? These people are kind of chaotic and like all over the place. And what I've come to learn is that that's why real estate investors kind of get a bad name, is because they're usually either newer or they don't have any real formal training. And so they don't know the boundaries that they're crossing when they over ask of title companies, over ask of closing attorneys. They, think that the realtor is going to let them talk to their client and, all these things that investors do. And bless their heart, they're not knowing that it's not okay to do those things, or that there's like a etiquette out there. Right. And so through my time with PACE, once I started the wholesale business, ultimately I was like, dude, you don't even need a wholesale business. You have so much else going on. Like, why are you? He felt like he had to continue to do everything because he had students in all of those things. And it just didn't make sense. And so I then, delved into his personal portfolio, and he's like, I want to buy 500 more doors this year.
Nice.
And I'm like, okay, well, this creative financing is weird. And I'm overwhelmed by it because there's all this extra paperwork and there's all these extra nuances to it. And there's so much drama because they're either pre-foreclosures or some kind of distress in probably 75% of these transactions. There's something like that going on. And so it was a lot. And one of the first transactions I worked on with him had all of those things. It was just like Pandora's box. It was like they're in pre-foreclosure. Come to find out the wife was still on the deed, but she wasn't supposed to be. So they had a quick claim deed that never got filed. And then we couldn't get a hold of her. And then I had to figure out how to get a hold of all this stuff. Right. And I was like, this is so different than just traditional real estate.
Yeah.
I'm so overwhelmed. And so through that, I've really figured out what the transaction coordination process needed to look like for creative transactions.
Okay. Cool.
And there wasn't really anyone, at least within his communities, talking about that at that time. It was just kind of like, this is how you make the deals happen. And no matter what, you just make it happen.
Okay. Well, it's always been in our world, we did it all.
Yeah.
We did the marketing, we talked to the homeowner, we structured the deal, we did the paperwork, we opened up escrow, we dropped off the title.
And then where does the paperwork go after you're done?
Well, it goes to the title company.
And it just stays with the title company?
Wait, I feel like you got me stumped here. What if I feel like I'm missing? I did a million of these.
So like, for example, all of your stuff. So if you were to ever need to go look back at that transaction, like some of your old transactions.
You're going to kill me then.
You would be like, I don't know where any of that is.
I just searched my Gmail.
See? Do you see what I'm talking about?
Not organized. Don't take that.
This is what I was seeing time and time again was these people who were like, we had one of our acquisitions guys at the wholesale company. Where's the contract? Oh, I dropped it off at title. Oh.
You didn't scan and keep a copy?
Okay, so what am I going to file? Right? I don't get to file anything. You don't want to have that for later. And what I realized is when I needed to go back to a transaction, I didn't have any information. I didn't know who was involved in on it. I didn't know who the title company was sometimes. I didn't know who was the wholesaler. I didn't know anything, right? I didn't know any of those details. And so it would be this just investigative journey to go do this detective work to figure out what the missing pieces were to this transaction. And I'm like, we can't do this. We can't continue to do this.
Wow. Yeah.
And so I've put together this really great program where we teach people how to organize that chaos, right? We take your guys' skills as investors, which is not organizing paperwork.
Correct.
And making sure things are easily found in the future. And we make it easy for you to find if you ever need it, right?